Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, Labour's Geraint Davies has tabled a private member's bill to enable a public vote on Brexit, and he joins us now from Swansea. Thank you very much indeed for being with us, Mr Davies. What's your idea?
Well, the basic idea, as you say, is that there is a public vote on the deal. But the interesting thing about the bill is that that public vote could occur before it is agreed in Parliament. Because contrary to what you've just heard, people are objecting to the deal for contradictory reasons. Some people say there's too much alignment with the EU, as your last speaker said, and even want to get rid of the backstop, which we won't. And others on my side say there's much less alignment than they'd want. They want dynamic alignment with standards rights, with market changes. So given that those sets of people are disagreeing with the deal for completely opposite reasons, it's very difficult to see a deal going through. So what the bill would allow for would the public to vote on the deal, the real deal, on the table from Barnier and the EU. Do they want it or not? And if they do want it, Parliament can ratify that. If they don't want it, we can stay in the EU. Because after all, this whole episode has shown that Brexit will make us, weaker, more isolated, more divided, without so much influence. It's an act of willful negligence. It's become absurd.
It's a private member's bill you're proposing, so I mean, presumably there isn't really a prospect that this could get through Parliament, and certainly not in time before March the 29th.
Yeah, well, the way it would work is if an amendment is put down, I'm intending to put down, to the meaningful vote on Tuesday, it would say that this amendment triggers the immediate second reading on Thursday of this particular bill, and that would fast track it then. And basically, it would say that people should have a public vote on the deal, whether it's agreed in Parliament. The public should have a vote, and even before we can get round to agreeing it, which in my consideration we won't.
I mean, the basic problem with another referendum, though, is that many people feel that we had a referendum recently in 2016, that a clear decision to leave the EU was taken, and therefore, they use the phrase that it's undemocratic to even contemplate so close to the last decision. What do you say to that?
Well, I think they're completely wrong. It would be a crime against democracy not to do this. If you order something on the menu, they order a steak and a bit of chewed up bacon arrives,
you generally have to eat it.
You should have the right to send it back, not be force-fed by Theresa May, being told otherwise we're going to poison you completely. The situation is people voted in good faith, so have more control, more money, more trade. They now find they'll have less money, less trade and less control, and they have a right to confirm. These are Leave voters in Swansea and elsewhere who have a right to confirm whether what they're getting is what they voted for and what they're getting is not what they voted for. And it would be a breach of democracy not to allow them to have that confirmatory vote.
What do you think, Mr Cleverly? And wouldn't another referendum settle it?
We haven't delivered on the outcome of the first referendum. And a number of people are using a second referendum as basically a Trojan horse for the thing that we've explicitly heard. Gerard's basically said that he thinks Brexit is a bad idea. I happen to disagree with him. But he's basically saying he wants to use the second referendum as a Trojan horse to overturn the first referendum result. We haven't delivered on the first instruction. And to use all these kind of tricksy methods to try and prevent us doing so, I think would be a breach of faith with the British people. I think it would go down incredibly badly, and at a time when politicians are thought badly of across the world, publicly demonstrating that we are going to ignore the instructions of our electorate, I think is a really bad idea.
Mr Davies?
Well, this is farcical, and people have voted to leave, not leave their jobs. Leavers in Swansea are telling me they voted in good faith for more money, more trade, more control. They're getting none of those things, and this is going to be rammed forward by people like you. This is a disgrace, and people will never be forgiven for force-feeding this pack of lies.
Why do we need your bill, Mr Davies, given that apparently you're simply advocating what Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour leadership are going to propose?
No, this is a technique that allows for the vote to go straight to the people. We've had enough of people arguing and being unable to agree, and they never will, for the reasons I've said, because half of them don't agree with the deal because they think it's too close to Europe, half don't agree because they think basically we're not close enough to Europe. So there's no such thing as these dream deals people keep talking about. There's a real deal. It's on the table. It's from Barnier. It's been negotiated by the Prime Minister. Let's put it to the people. If the people want it, they can have it, but they won't want it. They want to stay in the EU, and we should let them.
And there would have to be a delay, whatever the result of that second referendum.
Well, no, we'd save a lot of time because we wouldn't have to spend 2 years of transition period saying deal or no deal to the worst deals that we've already got. But the government saying, oh, this is the best we can negotiate. If you want some jobs rather than none, and you want to have some hormone-impregnated meat and all the rest of it, you're going to have this. It's going to be a nightmare the next 2 years or more, and we can't look at the real issues, whether it's the NHS, homelessness, or whatever it is. If we had a vote within the next couple of months, we could get it cleared. People don't want to do this. It's clear it's awful, and we should let them have that right so we can get on with solving the problems which are at our doorstep.
Thank you both very much indeed for joining us.